The world is indeed full of peril, and in it there are many dark places. But still there is much that is fair, and though in all lands love is now mingled with grief, it grows perhaps the greater. J.R.R. Tolkien. Since it is Amateur Radio Day, I figured that today would actually be a really good time to start posting those podcasts I've been promising on posting on YouTube. So that would be 2 podcasts. So I'll probably do one today and tomorrow. The cat agrees. She purrs in anticipation. So yes, here's the first one. Hope you like it. And I'm going to be adding my comments underneath because I took it a couple years ago. So, you know, I can kind of react to what I was saying then. Have fun. Enjoy. Once upon a time, there was an author who had a podcast. Author Unplugged. Hey guys, this is Christina, and welcome to Author Unplugged. Life is busy. We've all been there. But if life gets too busy, and somehow your writing gets put on the back burner, and you haven't written in years even, are you still a writer? Well, on a car ride in late December 2010, I sat down with my then boyfriend, now fiancé, Wervin, to discuss this topic, as well as some of our own deep writing questions.
So you'll have to remind me where we were.
Okay, well, when I was more of a live-journal kid, there was a lady on there who was an author, and she was a mother, and she had a husband and 2 kids, and it was, you know, she just talked about how frustrating it was sometimes, and she was a writer. She published something, but she hadn't worked on anything for a couple of years.
Right.
And she just had a lot of stuff going on in her life, and I felt like she was worried. She was really honestly struggling with the idea, am I still a writer if I haven't written anything for a long time? So we were just talking about that, basically. Right. And we just said there are lots of ways to answer that question.
Right, well, the existential idea is, you know, what are we defining? The act of writing, does that make you a writer? Or is it some characteristic of yourself, a desire to write? And it's like, are you getting to a point after 10 years and you haven't written anything? You should look at that and say, well, why haven't I written anything? Is it because I don't want to write anything, or is it because I feel like I can't? That kind of a feeling, the biggest danger with it is that it consumes you and paralyzes you with an inability to start something again.
Yeah.
You feel like it defines you, and it stops you from writing when you want to. And so you need to be careful of that. But on the other hand, you don't need to feel, if you're going through a dry patch and just, I don't have ideas or the motivation to write right now, that's the end of your career.
Right.
Because life is cyclical. We have periods where we're very active, and we have periods where we slow down and do other things. That's just the natural course for everything.
Right. So you would say that yes or no? You think?
I don't know if that boiled down to a yes or no answer. I guess it's one of those that depends. I think that if you want to write and you have written and you know that you can, then that makes you a writer, even if you haven't produced anything.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And what I just mentioned. I didn't want to interrupt you, but was that everything?
No.
Okay. But all I feel is like if your heart is still there and it still fills you with excitement, it's like even if you're not writing anymore, I feel like once you stop loving that thing, once you have no desire to do it anymore, then you're not that anymore.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know, like. And then there's also technicality with that as well. Like, for example, if you were a Nazi at one point in your life, and then you were like, oh, I don't want to be a Nazi, this is awful. And then you
renounce Nazism.
Yes, and you renounce Nazism, yes. And that's the thing, though. It's like, with that thing, it's a bit more different. But with, like, a career, for example, where, you didn't kill people for a living. It's like, I still love the fact that I was a DJ. It's like, technically, am I still a DJ? In practice, no, but in my heart,
in your heart,
I feel like I am. Same thing with the black belt. One time, my instructor once said something about, like, you're not really a black belt unless you continue in the studying. And it's like, well, that's true, to a sense. Like, I'm not up to date on all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I still have the proof that I was a full black belt at one point. I'm an honorary black belt now, I think, because I don't know. I'm not having been keeping up with all of it. But, it's like they're just, you shouldn't be that hard on yourself and make it so black and white, really, is how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I think about my own writings that I've done. And yeah, I consider myself a writer, or at least an aspiring writer, even though that's not my primary focus, and I'm not sure when I'll get back to doing some of the story ideas that I have.
Real life tends to kill that, doesn't it?
It does. Or at the very least, it makes it hard. So you have to work around it, but I still have ideas for stories.
Yeah.
I know things that I would like to tell the world.
Keep up with my blogs, vlogs, and other writing stuff on my site, canelsonauthor.com/official.